So Emily, tell me about this work. Who is this person? Is it you?
Oh, no, that's my best friend from Portland, from my home. I'm a first year, and I have other ones too, but I don't know, I like working off my inspirations, and most of my inspirations use a lot of props in their work, like Irina Ionesca and stuff. It's not very personal, but it's still like, and I do a lot of paintings off of my
It's funny, and these are, I don't feel like I'm seeing props, you know? I feel like I'm seeing a series of movements, you know, from a person who's sort of reluctant, you know, to look at the camera, you know? But we know how that feels.
She was very shy when I was taking her.
That's shy is so beautiful. And is she a friend?
Yeah, she's my best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a lot of pictures of her, because all last year I pretty much took pictures of her because she's my best friend, and that was like the only subject I had. And I took a lot of pictures of her in the wilderness. Like, she lived, like, near our house had, like, fields of cows, and we'd take pictures, and she'd do films of me, and so we kind of switch off that way, and then you can really tell it's Portland because of the wilderness and, like, the trees.
It's a little magic time, a little treasure time, and you should really take advantage of it. You know, you'll be on to something else, and, you know, do more of it. Yes.
Kylie.
Here we go.
So these are actually, I'm a first year art history major.
Yeah.
I'm looking into doing photography. I'd like to major in photography. But this is shot with black and white film. I'm taking my first darkroom course here. And so I went out and took the specific photos at the Folsom Street.
Because you have a very strong sense of composition. You're using the rectangle, you know, really, really well. How did you know to use the full frame? Or are these cropped? These three pictures here? Or is this actually a set that I'm the one?
No, these are all, all individual, but I did not do any cropping.
Right.
So,
No, that's what I like about them, yeah.
A lot of it was experimental, and I was kind of like seeing how it came out in the darker. Like even that like image on the bottom there, like part of my film got messed up, so it's like some of it's not actually even supposed to be there, but it turned out to.
Oh, no, that's the best stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So.
And what camera are you using? What f-stop were you at? Well, that was the other thing. The artist student, we never talked about cameras. We never talked. I'm so not a technical photographer. I had a Minolta SRT 101. I used to line up the little point inside the, you know, thing to get the, okay, is that the right exposure? And I was like, so it's certainly not about cameras, and I can tell that you are all sort of beyond that already. But go ahead, tell us about your photography. What camera are you using right now?
A Pentax K1000.
And they don't make that anymore, right?
No.
I think so, yeah. And your lens, is it one lens or?
Yeah, just 35 millimeter.
35. That's the lens, 35. 35 is supposed to be closest to the eye. That's interesting. I'd like to hear about lenses. I had one lens when I went to school here. It was on that Minolta, and it was a 50. And because I didn't know any better, and I could make that 50 feel 35, or you know, it's that, you all know this story because you've been doing this long enough, that if you want a close-up lens, you get closer to it, and if you want a wider lens, you step back. But the 35 is a great lens. I hated when the zoom lenses came in, because people would stand right in front of you, you know, and with their zoom lenses, and the imagery was so ugly. Working for the magazines all these years, working for you know, Vanity Fair particularly, you know, it's a funny thing. There's a gutter, you know, in the picture, you know, because it's printed in the magazine. So there's a gutter. So the gutter turns into like a person. It's like it's a thing. I think it was after Hockney, I started shooting to the left and shooting to the right, and then putting it together. And it was actually 2 pictures, but you start to see more. And it was sometimes when you're in a really small room and you just can't stand back, I just go shoot a little to the left and then shoot a little to the right and then, digitally put it together. And it got to be weird after a while because my work isn't very spontaneous anyway, but what started to happen is things really got boring. It was like, because it was either happening, the action was either happening in the right or the left, not in the middle. So it's an interesting, try it. Take your camera, take your, freak people out here. Take your 35 and go, nah. And you don't have to hide the fact that you've done that. You can run those 2 pictures together and it just gives you a little bit more coverage. Anyway, Hockney's work is so brilliant. I think it's great to open up the window and see what else you see. Is the Art Institute still, especially as a first-year student, are they teaching you like how to see? Are they talking about looking and seeing, or I don't know?
Not as much, because I was surprised when I came here. I thought it was going to be more about that. We jumped right into, kind of going out and like seeing what you want to shoot on your own and coming up with that. And like I hadn't photographed really any people before, and that's what I'm interested in, like work as kind of like, I liked it as like I submitted all the same, I like as like a series work or like documentary.
It definitely has a documentary feel, but it still has some abstraction to it, which is really quite nice. Honestly, I don't remember anything they taught us here. I was but I do remember. Okay, I did have Bruce Nauman for sculpture, and he didn't talk the whole time. The whole time he didn't talk, and we would come to class and he didn't talk. So just like 2 years ago, I visited Bruce Nauman with his wife Susan Rothenberg in just outside of Santa Fe. And photographed them in their studios. And finally, I said, I was one of your students, back in the Art Institute. And I said, you never talked, And so he said, I know. He said, I didn't think I should. I thought, if someone wanted to know something, they were going to ask me a question. Anyway, it was kind of... But you have to understand, in the days I was going here, it was the Vietnam War. The GI Bill was very active, and the school was, a lot of the students were Vietnam veterans who were a bit crazed, from the war. And so there was a lot of sort of insanity going on in this school. Well, I'm sure none of it happens now, but I'm just kidding, I hope. But what I do remember the most is this feeling of being able to sit in rooms with other photographers and have a sense of camaraderie, and looking at work together and sort of being pushed on. Your fellow students pushed you on more than your teacher would. You were learning more from each other than that the school was more like a facility, a place to come to and work and gather. And most importantly, I really feel like I learned how to see here. And I do think that serves me up until today, because I feel like, that what we become is observers. We really are very strong observers because we have decided to become photographers. And how we use it, I'm just enamored with photography and its latitude and how you can, all the different possibilities of how to use photography. And I'm seeing it here today, and I am so happy to see, again, the diversity in the way everyone's using it, photography and as creative artists.
Hi, I'm Ming Ming. I took these portraits a couple months ago, and basically I was so close to my subjects. I shot them right at their faces, so I nearly pulled the lens in front of my models. And it's definitely out of my comfort zone, and it's out of their comfort zone as well. It's like physically, if you get that close to a person with a big lens, it's like it creates that kind of like uncomfort, like the anxiety. And then basically, I gave them exactly the same directions. I given them the same amount of time, and then just try to catch the different attempts from them. And then the thing that I was thinking, like, when is that decisive moment for me and them? Like, because they're just like trying so hard. And then they couldn't hold that expression very long because it's really hard to, it has to, requires a lot of the strength of your face muscle.
So what did you tell them to do?
So I show them the same replication of a bust, which is done by a German sculptor called Mischa Schmidt. And then so they saw that replication of the bust, and then they were trying to mimic that particular facial expression.
Well, I mean, you definitely have, there's a director in you, which is, it's very hard to be a director. So what lens are you using? And also, you're so evenly lit. How could you bring the camera so close? And
So I use a continuous light, putting it really far away. And then I was using a 28mm lens. And so if the photo is large, you can see it's really shallow depth of field. You can only see the eyes are in focus, And then I got a lot of critiques from my other instructors and peers, and they're questioning like they feel really disturbing when seeing people's nose out of focus and eyes in focus. They wish to see the whole face in focus.
whoa, that's new. That's new. Is this digital or?
Yeah, it's digital.
Yeah. We've changed the way we want everything to be sharp now. It's very weird, right? And we used to see things sharp, and we used to, you go, ooh, it's too sharp. I don't want to see it that sharp. And now it's like, it's funny that people want to see things so sharp. These are very sculptural, for sure. And brave on the people who stood in for you.
So these two are darkroom prints. This one's a 4x5 from a 4x5 negative taken here. And this one, I think it's probably so far one of my favorite photographs that I've done. It's a 35mm taken in Brazil, and it has a deep connection with my dad and what he does.
What does your dad do?
My dad, all my life, he always had this interest that came from his dad of raising cattle. And as a kid and growing up, had never had any interest in it. So there was always this lack of us bonding in that sense. And he invited me to this trip, and he was like, yeah, you should go. You can take photographs. And I was like, there's no way I can say no now. So, and then this was one of the photos that came out, and I don't know, it just...
Well, I mean, you had to be, were you sitting, no, you weren't, you had to be inside there, right?
I was outside.
Oh, okay.
I was able to.
It's beautifully composed. It's really pretty handsome as a right-on. And who is this person here?
Oh, that's one of my best friends, and I've just recently been really pushing myself into taking more portraits and getting more into, I don't know, representing people that mean something to me. I have photos of my grandma as well, because she's getting towards the end of her life. So I'm like trying to represent her through pictures, but sometimes I'm like, how should I do this? How should I come about, My grandma is in Brazil, she still lives in her house, but every day there's someone there to spend the night and be with her. They rotate between my mom and their sisters.
Those would be nice too, to photograph your mom there with.
Yeah.
And she's her mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a couple photographs of that too.
I'm sure they don't mind and they probably like it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just just thinking about the way that I can do it, but it doesn't feel so staged. Because my grandma gets very like wary of the camera, and then she starts like posing.
She starts posing?
Yeah. Kind
Oh,
of,
that's
she's like,
funny.
oh my
If you,
God.
trust me, if you sit there long enough, she'll stop posing. Or the posing is kind of interesting, actually.
Yes.
Like she said, smiling or something.
Yeah, she just makes like weird, funny faces towards the camera, and then she
Well, just
looks.
say, Grandma, don't do that. I just want to like shoot this
And then
away.
when she looks at the photo, she's like, "Oh my God, I look so old. Look at all the lines of my face."
Yeah, no, don't show them to them. God forbid.
Yeah.
No. You should accumulate a lot of material and then
Yeah.
edit it and just say, I have to edit it, Grandma. Like blah blah. So, just go in one day and say, Grandma, I just decided I really want to photograph you a lot, and I'm going to spend the day with you or something.
Yeah.
I'm sure she'll love it. I mean, that whole thing about the decisive moment, Cartier-Bresson, the decisive moment. That's why I think the series is such an important idea. That the stills work so well as stories. Like when you have 5 to 7 photographs that can tell a little story. I think they need each other, like that. And that's why I love books, and that's why the whole idea of the photo essay should come back. You can still do a range of different kinds of photographs, but you're telling a story. Mika.
Yeah, so I came here last year from Germany.
This is yours, yeah?
Yeah, that's mine. From Germany, where I did my undergrad and a grad in visual communication design, book design. And I finished with a photo work, and I did a book with it. And those pictures are in this. This is a Mennonite community. The one on the left is shot in Germany, and the one on the right in Siberia and Russia, where I'm originally from. And those people, that was my first really big project, and that really got me engaged into photography, where I decided I want to be a photographer.
Well, I'm very jealous of these photographs. They're so beautiful, and I think it has a lot to do with. It's funny that you said this is in Siberia.
Yeah.
I think that the light and the walls and their faces and her blouse, it's like, I don't think you would find that here. And this young person as well, this red hair, and I think there's just something. So was this a whole project? They're very, very strong, very beautiful photographs. Tell me about this. And how long did you know these? Who are these people to
those
you?
are, they're Mennonites. They're distant relatives of mine, but I didn't know them before. I decided to go back to Russia, where I was born, to build a connection with my home country, which I didn't know. And because my parents were both from these villages originally, but estranged Mennonites, I didn't grow up as a Mennonite. I wanted to learn about the Mennonite heritage I had. And
how did you go meet these people, for example?
well, I would just people would introduce me to others. So first, through a relative, I found a family that would take me in and just host me. And so I would just go and walk through the villages, and then people would already know about me, that I was there, a photographer, and a distant relative, not faithful Mennonite. But they would invite me for dinner and lunch, and then I would sleep there and just become a family member for weeks.
But it feels a little guarded on their part, but also they're letting you do it. And it has a kind of.
I mean, this family in particular, they were all very shy and awkward in the beginning. They were like, we really don't like pictures, and they were really shy.
Which
and
makes you
everything.
like them more, you know.
I was obsessed with this family. Yeah, I was like, I really want to stay with this family. So I did, and eventually they forgot about me, even though I had a big camera.
Eventually they'll forget. How big's your camera?
Oh, well, it was a Canon D Mark III 50 lens.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, I would say it's bigger than,
Bigger than yeah.
They were, when I came back with a little Fuji, they were actually disappointed. They were like, what is this? Where's your real camera?
Did they see the pictures?
Yeah, I gave them
So
the
you saw,
pictures.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's very, very cool. It's a cool project.